Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Gemini, today is the number 1 card, and it says protection. So on the left at the bottom, there is a glyph for the moon, and on the right, there is a glyph for the sign of Aries. That's the first sign, right? So below it says, I protect my peace with courage and charity. And it further says, protect your spark, don't smother it. Boundaries are not walls, but shields for your light. So I do feel, Geminis, this is a time for you to say no. And have the courage and confidence to say no, but say it with love, not in a brutal way, right? And I also feel that some of you might be a little bit defensive right now. You know, you might be seeing people as threats, I feel. Even a small argument might be, kicking in your inner warrior. So I do feel that, every time you have a disagreement with somebody, when you're not on the same page with somebody, it's not really an attack on you. And if you're getting impulsive and, you feel like your inner warrior is kicking in, then save that warrior for, something that is an actual threat. I hope not. But I feel that you're considering everything in your external environment a threat to you, especially if they're not on the same page with you. I do feel with the Mars energy in here, Gemini, yes, when you stand up for your own cause, when you stand up for your principles, when you stand up for what you believe in, then that's the true warrior spirit. But we're not fighting here just to satisfy our egos, and that's what the message here is for you. Because Gemini, you are the air sign, you're heavily involved when it comes to communication and networks and people. So I feel that right now you are trying to protect your inner peace. You want to, be able to direct your energy and your time to people that actually matter to you, or things and causes that actually matter to you. So I do feel that you're cutting out distractions from your life right now in some way, whether it's people, whether it's, other distractions. There's so many online distractions as well. And you're protective of your space. You're protective of your energy. The only caveat with this is, the only drawback is that because Mars is a very reactive energy, and I feel that sometimes it could or can trigger your emotions that will cause you to act impulsively, or you might even lash out sometimes, thinking that people are coming at you even though they're not really coming at you. So before you, your spidey senses or your fighting spirit on, make sure that you're thinking straight. You're not overreacting, right? Because sometimes when we act impulsively, it ends up disturbing the relationship. It ends up skewing the relationship. So just know that just because people sometimes might not agree with what you're saying, it doesn't mean that they are a threat to you. So some of you might be actually burnt out and you need a little bit space for yourself to get your energy back. This can also be that some of you actually want, want clarity in communication. You want that honesty in communication with people. Maybe people are not saying things, or, people are not walking the talk or something like that. Maybe you're feeling that, there is a disconnect between what they say and what they do. So you want the transparency and honesty in communications. And some of you might be retreating because of that. But it's not about retreating. This energy is not about retreating. It's about knowing, which commitment to invest into, which person, which place, which task to invest into. Whether it's your time, your resources, your mind, your energy, whatever. This is about being very protective of your assets and resources. This could be protection of your family as well, like how much time and support you're able to give to your family. Because once we, know where to spend our energy, we spend it in the right places and don't burn out as fast as we do when we're stretched too thin. And this is a very, very karmic, moment for you, Geminis, because See, this our souls when we're out here, our souls they will learn how to be courageous, especially when it comes to survival mode. Like in this case, your survival mode is to preserve your energy, and our soul needs to learn those lessons, and it needs to have the courage to learn those lessons. And I feel that this is that moment for you to learn how to conserve your energy and invest it into the right places. So I do feel you might be restricting the number of friends or social engagements that you engage with. Or this could also be like, you're cutting off from social media a little bit, like, unnecessarily. Sorry about that noise. Always. So I lost my chain of thought anyway. So what I was saying was that yeah, it's the courage to know where to invest your time into. So cutting back from social media, from unnecessary distractions of commitments, or this can also be about you building your own emotional reserves, Gemini. So you want to feel secure where you are. You want to feel connected to the right people that have your back. But this can also be building financial resources, in order to feel stronger and protected financially. But nevertheless, strong boundaries are coming through. There is a tiger out here, fierce energy. Some of you, I'm getting that might be you have a pressure to marry and from your family, and you are trying to stand up against that family pressure, You're fiercely protecting your life, your independence, until you feel that you are ready to take on the next phase of your life. The next card you have, Gemini, is number 17, and it says the shaman. So the number 1, 7, 8 are going through strong with this energy. It further says, I translate spirit into language the world can understand. And it further says, your gift is not just to talk, it's to heal to words, ideas, and connections. You are the bridge. In the spiritual world, in the mystical world, shamans are known to be, born with two souls. One is the earthly soul and one is the spiritual soul. And I feel that you are using that gift of healing through talking. You might be sharing your stories. You might be sharing some information that you have gathered with people that need your help and assistance. This could also be that you are very, Gemini, you are the third house energy. You're the air sign. And I feel that this energy is speaking to those of you that have heightened intuition, that are able to feel things very strongly. And at the same time, you're able to communicate about that or communicate to people about that. Or you are some kind of healer. Maybe you've traveled the world and you have a lot of wisdom and you're putting it out there for the people to heal. Some of you could be into, analysis industry, like you might be counselors where you're gathering data and coming up with ideas and plans for healing people. This can also be that you're getting a lot of dream space ideas or dreams that you're able to remember and articulate and tell people about it. This can also be a lot of downloads that you're getting from your angels and your spirit guides. But the only caveat with this energy is a little bit of confusion. So in order to not be foggy in the head, to not have clouded judgment, use some breathwork and meditation practices to ground your emotions, because this energy is also about grounding emotions, or having emotional intelligence. Some of you could actually be working in institutions to lead the people on a path of emotional intelligence, to understand their emotions, to be very mindful. Some of you actually could have healing podcasts in some way. You could be learning a lot about herbal medicines and, energy work or astrology and things like that. And you could be putting it out there or sharing with people in your home and family as well. But the shamans were known as therapists before, when the official term was not there. Shamans were the therapists. So I do feel that some of you could actually be, you could be telling stories of some kind, maybe maybe you were in a certain situation and you're telling the story or sharing your past experiences with people in the form of memes, maybe, or in some form of book or something like that. But this, yeah, it's a lot of healing energy. So you could be into healing practices as well, like Reiki or, sound baths and things like that. But this is like, bringing the messages, the messenger from the spiritual world and conveying it to the people. This reminds me of Uncle Iroh. He was the shaman guide, right, who will he will tell stories, and those stories are very wise. They have deep wisdom, ancestral wisdom, timeless wisdom, and he will say it in a very gentle way. He'll pass that information. Uncle Iroh, for those of you who have seen the Avatar movie, right? That's the kind of energy that I'm pulling from here. So some of you could be teachers in schools, in spiritual schools, or some of you could actually have some Reiki practices, or you could be actually in corporate as well, or having some kind of workshops in regards to heartfulness and mindfulness practices. But this is like a very powerful energy of speaking, communicating. A lot of you might have some kind of a channel or a podcast where you're trying to give information to people. You're trying to guide them about how to work through their emotions. This is also an energy where you might have traveled a lot across the world, and now you have, like, you've understood, you have the deep-rooted wisdom from cultures across the world, and now you're trying to, share it with other people, or you're trying to heal people in some way in regards to that. It's like some of you could be into medical professions, like actual doctors that are now working on alternate holistic medicines as well. The next card you have, Gemini, is the King of Wands. Wands is fire energy. Aries, Sagittarius are the fire elements. So it further says here, I lead with vision, courage, and fire. And it further says here, it's not just about the vision, it's about leading it. Be the fire that inspires others. You are magnetic, persuasive, and courageous right now. So I feel that you are the leader right now, Gemini. You are maybe working in corporate, leading projects, or you have some idea that you're sharing with people, community. These could also be side hustles or meaty big projects that you're launching at this point in time. But you're very charismatic, Gemini, at this point in time. And you have that authority or the leadership capability. You're able to direct other people. You're able to inspire them. You have a vision that you might be sharing with people. Some of you could be entrepreneurs. Maybe you're having some kind of a business that you're building on, some kind of movement that you're starting. This could also be online or offline, maybe on social media, some platforms, or offline as well. Some of you are, these are taking bold chances. Some of you could be into public speaking. I'm getting a very public speaking energy with this. Maybe you had fear of public speaking, but now you've overcome it. And now when you're talking to the people, you're like, wow, this is inspirational. Some of you could be inspirational, motivational speakers as well. But I do feel that this is some kind of a venture that I'm getting that you have something like a startup that now went public, on the we call the stock markets. You launched a business that went public in the stock market, and now it's doing really well. That could be for just one or two of you, but it's a very strong energy out here. You see, there is salamanders, there is transformation that's going on in a big, big way. And King of Wands in general is, a visionary who knows what to do, when to do, and how exactly to get it done. This is a true leader, and in this image, it's so powerful. This is like a person who's so wise. This also looks like a very, I would say, a person who is, very trained in some kind of martial arts. You could be into martial arts training, or you could be into also maybe some kind of fitness, gym trainers, or coaches of some kind. This could also be, now you could be leading in any area of your life, whether it's in communities or whether in your corporates, or whether this is online portals on social media. This is like a very leader like energy where you're very, people are very drawn towards you, and very very charismatic kind of an energy out here. This picture, I don't know, this reminds me of Elon Musk. I don't know how, but then, it reminds me of Elon Musk. You are fired up right now, Gemini. I feel that you're passionate about something, you're changing things up, and you're staying strong. This is an energy of, I will get the job done. Whatever you have been entrusted with, whether it's a project or something of your own, you're like, I'm going to take this, I'm going to run with it, I'm going to create pure magic out of this. Some of you could be leading teams or big groups and organizations, and people really look up to you for your leadership style, and maybe you're a good mentor, maybe you're a coach, and they look up to you for the approach that you take to coaching and mentoring them. Some of you, this is leadership in communication, in media, in arts, or in performance arts. You might be talking to a lot of people. But this is a lot about communication. I see the wand over here that he has as a mic. So you might be talking to people on some stages or auditoriums and things like that, and extremely focused with whatever you're doing. Very well planned, meticulously done. And I feel that you're highly passionate also about whatever you do. You're putting your time, energy, you're moving fast. You're taking next actions, bold steps. And I do feel you're stepping into public limelight. Maybe you're with public spotlight. I feel that whether it's in your community or your work, you are stepping into spotlight in some way, Gemini. So you're moving forward, full steam on. You have the power, you have the authority, you have the strength to keep going. And this is a leader that leads, that walks the talk, that leads by action, by doing things, by showing people how it's done, not in a brutal or forceful way. This is the person that gets the job done, who has a lot of energy, who keeps doing things in a very systematic, orderly way. So you might be in that energy now, Gemini. And the last card for today, Gemini, you have is, it says, set your life on fire and seek those who find your flames. Kindred spirits, passion, follow your heart. And I feel you're doing exactly that, Gemini. You are manifesting whatever you have in mind. And I feel you're very focused. You're very driven to achieve that. Some of you might be using manifestation tools, visualizations and things like that. But I feel that this is a good time where you are going full steam forward, also evaluating things as you keep putting the work in, and you're seeing what's working, what's not, and you're releasing and letting go of things that are not working for you. So this is like high momentum building time for you, Gemini, and you're highly inspired, but at the same time, I feel that not only are you very intuitive, but you could be a little bit sensitive as well at this point in time. So just be a little bit mindful of that. And I feel that you might be also working on, maybe honing in on a skill, or you might also be improving relationships with people that matter to you. Some of you could actually be into journaling or meditation or some kind of energy work. But I feel a lot of visualization tools, manifestation, rituals, and things like that you could be working on. And you could be even, reassessing, fine-tuning your plans, refining things. And there's also a lot of growth, expansion, and at the same time, there's evaluation and preparation for the next step or next task. So these being general messages will play out differently in your lives, Gemini. Let me know how they play out in yours in the comments down below, and hope you enjoyed your messages. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.